Logan, what did you do?
Charles, the world is not the same as it was. Mutants. They're gone now.
And you could have it all. My empire of dirt, I will let you down. I would find a way.
Logan, you still have time.
Hi everyone, welcome to our first film review on our channel. We're excited. We have been to see Logan today. Boys, how are you feeling?
It's kind of ironic because it's the best Wolverine title. Yeah, it's the best Wolverine film, but it doesn't have Wolverine in the title.
I really enjoy. I gotta say, it's hard to find words for this film because there's so many words to describe it, but then there's so little because literally I'm speechless from what I've just seen, and that's in a good way because it was just so brilliant, fantastic. Like I say, there you go. I found words for it.
Only just. Eventually, fantastic. So, Hugh Jackman's last film.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
It hurts. It physically hurts me.
It does.
I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I am not a massive superhero movie fan at all. It's more these guys' scenario.
Yeah.
So for me, Hugh Jackman made X-Men and Wolverine. Like, I would be excited for those movies. So this hurts me. Do we feel like he had a good send-off?
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I think it did.
Oh, yes.
Definitely. It was definitely the right film to end on, and like I say, like we all said just then, we ended on a high.
Oh yeah, it's his best. Yeah. It's genuinely his best X-Men Wolverine film. What you call it?
Yeah, I think it's like the best. Like, I think the quote Wolverine himself is like, he's the best at what he does. Basically,
yes. There is no other Wolverine. They will recast eventually, but Hugh Jackman is our Wolverine.
Best live action anyway.
Yeah. 17 years in the role.
Yeah, no, bloody hell.
17 years.
I feel old already.
Yeah.
We're not 25. We're not 25.
Yeah. Definitely, there's a lot when your first role was back in 2000, and you've been playing that role for, like I say, ever since. It's just like I say, it's amazing. It shows his commitment to it as well.
Yeah. Especially the physical aspect, because that's a role that requires him to be super muscly, out in the sun, especially with his own health conditions.
Yeah.
And absolutely dedicated to it, and just brought Wolverine to life, brought a comic book character to life in the way that, I think, yeah, we can say it, in the way that Ryan Reynolds has brought Deadpool to life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely think Ryan Reynolds taking inspiration from the Jackman. Because he literally is a Jackman.
Yeah.
It's like the jacked man.
Speaking of Deadpool, Wolverine R-rated. Well, not Wolverine. Logan R-rated.
Or 15 in the UK.
15 in the UK.
Yeah.
R-rated in the US.
Because we can handle it.
Yeah.
R-rated movies. R-rated superhero movies. See, I told you I wasn't a comic book person. Superhero movies, R-rated. It's starting a thing. 20th Century Fox.
Yeah, they've got a little niche going on there, and it seems like that's where they want to take at least Deadpool will go in the future. Don't know about the rest of the X-Men films or the rest of their properties.
That'd be interesting.
Maybe a rated R Fantastic Four might be down the line. Maybe that might be one way
to bring people back to start watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait and see. But no, I think it was definitely, like I say, it was definitely the way to go, to have allow Hugh Jackman to be Wolverine in all his gory goodness.
It allows him to express himself in a way.
Yeah. Express himself.
Express himself.
It's
what would you say? Like, I know that I'd been to see the film before these two lovely boys, so I was expecting all of it, but I was sat next to you in the cinema, and the first opening credits, spoilers, just hashtag spoilers. The first opening sort of opening credits.
Yeah, opening title.
Yeah,
sequence.
Title sequence. I could hear you gasping next to me, and sort of as things were coming up, and I knew they were coming up, I would be sort of paying attention to your reaction, and especially when Laura was going about it and just.
You might want to establish that Laura is X-23, yeah.
The little girl.
Yeah,
The
played
little
by
girl, yeah.
Daphne.
Daphne Keane. That's her
Daphne
name.
Keane, yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, did a brilliant job.
So wonderful.
Yeah.
She's only little.
Yeah, and it's good. And I've pointed it out already. It's good that she's Latin American because I'm trying to think back. It's like I've not seen actually Latin American superheroes at all in the major films.
No.
It's like not even Marvel's gone that far yet. It's like
No.
we've had aliens before Mexicans at least.
That's true.
But yeah, no, like I say, I think she really. Actually, in some ways, she stole the. So she was even. I would say she's definitely on the same par as Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman in the scene.
Oh, she kept up.
And she,
Absolutely
yeah,
kept
and
up.
she didn't even have to do much. She just had to express with her face most
she
of the
didn't
time.
have barely spoke for the entire film.
And after time it was Spanish.
Yeah, it was Spanish. I kind of understood the Spanish a little.
Yeah, a bit.
A little.
But
In
yeah.
terms of the violence.
Yeah,
in
the
terms of
violence. The violence was definitely needed. I wouldn't even say it was overkill. The violence.
No.
It was just basically what he did in the other X-Men films, except this time they added blood and actually a bit of some shots to the face and stuff like that.
There's more than a few shots to the face. There were severed heads. There was actual claws coming through the side
the
of people's
jaws.
faces,
Yeah, but
up through into the top of their heads.
But in the other X-Men films, he did do that, but they did their best to hide it.
Yeah.
kind of like
Implied.
angles.
Yeah, the angles were never this was really the camera was in on the action,
There was-
getting in the gore.
Yeah.
Whereas in the previous X-Men films, it's always been you always see them do it, but it's always you never see the blood go flying. You always just see them swipe across, and that's it. You don't see any
Kind of like on stage when they do a fake punch.
yeah, exactly.
It felt like a fake punch, whereas all this was there was.
You genuinely felt like he was ripping into these guys.
It was unashamed and it was beautiful, and I think that the R rating is completely justified.
It's more violent. It's actually more violent than Deadpool, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's got shish kebab swords.
Yeah.
It's like severed hands as well.
Yeah, oh, he
Going
severed
back.
his own hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a head. There was a severed head in this film.
That's gonna be a thing now. Like Marvel are trying to do their Star Wars tribute with the severed limbs and all that. These R-rated films are gonna have severed decapitations now, aren't they?
Yeah, let's just chop everything off.
That's it, Fox. That's your Marvel Star Wars tribute. Just decapitations now from now on.
I think that's where the angle the world goes, as long as it's justified, because there's no point just going for it's hardcore violence just for the sake of kind of thing. It's oh my god, Cyclops just disintegrated that guy by blinking twice.
So, talking about that though, the fact that this film is so violent, do you feel like it's less of a comic book movie that we're used to, and it's got a different feel to it?
I'd definitely say it's not.
definitely different.
You don't go into this film expecting your typical
Sort of
either Marvel,
Yeah.
even Deadpool. I would say kind of and even what DC have thrown out. This is completely its own thing.
Standalone, yeah.
Yeah, it stands alone. It's not big in scale wise. It's actually quite a compact and intimate story.
Yeah.
That really basically it just focuses on Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, and like I say, Daphne. What was it?
Daphne Keane.
Daphne Keane, who like I say, the three main characters. And you just follow them on their journey. And
They're like a
that's-
family,
yeah,
aren't they? They're
basically create this family dynamic, which is one of the main themes of Logan.
Yeah.
And it has a number of other themes that you wouldn't. I don't think any real comic book film has explored to the degree that Logan has.
Yeah, like dementia and
Yeah. There's there's a Professor
Terminal
X
illness.
it's sick. Sick is the way we use because it's in the trailers. We know something's wrong with Professor X, and Logan's looking after him, and that's basically the first half of the film, really, isn't it?
yeah,
So, goes down.
establishing what they've been doing for
For so long.
for so long, because it's set in 2029, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's
So all the other X-Men are gone. There is no one else. It's just who's there? Caliban as well.
Yeah, Caliban, one of the New Mutants.
Who I think you might have seen a younger version in X-Men
Apocalypse.
Days. It was X-Men Apocalypse. Yeah,
I
it
think
was.
it was, yeah.
It was either Apocalypse or Days of Future Past, but I think it was Apocalypse because I remember
Yeah.
Mystique
But-
came in. And
We'll watch the Blu-ray later.
That's why I said that's why I said it's so far in the future, so it doesn't get tied into the other films, just its own little experience.
But like I say, there's no like big, huge, like city, big, huge city crumbling finale.
You mean Superman? You mean it's not Superman?
No, it's not just Superman. Hold on, let's not forget
It's like
what happened
Superman.
in Age of Ultron. I think 2 cities got destroyed, near enough destroyed. So
Avengers,
it's not just
Batman,
it's not just DC. There's
Superman.
Are you talking about Avengers?
yeah.
I didn't watch Avengers.
Oh, the Marvel fans are gonna love you.
I don't care. I told you I'm not a comic book person. I'm very selective.
But anyway, the point is that this doesn't have your big, huge city battles. It doesn't have your, like you say, your big epic like power fights or anything like that.
No.
Like you might have seen in the
No.
recent X-Men films and even the other Marvel films and DC stuff.
Yeah, whipping out your
It's
superpowers.
It's completely, like you say, toned, like knocked down its scale.
Intimate.
It feels more,
More
like you say, it
personal.
feels more like an indie film than it does a comic book film. If it wasn't for the claws and all that, and all the other mutant powers, you wouldn't have any idea that this was an actual comic book movie. You would think
Yeah.
it's an Oscar nominated film because it is has those themes.
I was gonna say that it's been debated on the interwebs that this could be the first Oscar-nominated superhero film. How are we feeling?
I feel that Logan has the potential for at least an Oscar nomination because it feels different from the other superhero films. It's obviously a lot more calmer. It's a lot more. It's a lot more. I don't try to think. It's just something like that would appeal to an Oscar Academy Awards film. Basically, I stumbled a bit, but that's fine. But then again, the last time a superhero film got an Oscar was The Dark Knight, and that's for Heath Ledger, and he had to die for that award, basically.
Yeah. No, I think it has the possibilities to be an Oscar contender. I mean, it's got the themes and like kind of the style and everything of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said before, if you take out the claws and all the mutant stuff and all that, you would think this is an Oscar like contender film.
Yeah.
But I definitely think Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart have definitely given their best performances of the characters they've played.
Yeah.
Because they've changed so much since the last time they were in it, since Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
And whether that gives Oscar contention, the Oscars have given out the awards for worst performances, in my opinion. I mean, at least it should be entitled to consideration.
I want Stewart to get a Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
Because, well, at least a nomination for it. Because he was fantastic. Because the way that we've seen Professor X in all of these past films, he's always been the leader. He's always been so together, and he's always had the answers. It always felt like he was going to kind of save the day by, giving us the answers, giving the right mutant the answer to what they needed to do. And to see him in such a vulnerable state, in such a place where he's scared and he doesn't have the answers and everything's uncertain. And Patrick Stewart just played it so fantastically well. And if it doesn't get recognised with at least a nomination, it will really wick me off. Hugh Jackman.
Why not?
Why shouldn't he have an Oscar nomination for that performance?
He got an Oscar nomination for playing Jean Valjean, and I thought this was a better performance.
I know, but that was a musical, and it's kind of like
That's something the Oscars do like.
Yeah, something the Oscars like. Well, the way I'm hoping that they take this film and they look at it and they see it. They don't label it superhero movie, because I feel like the director has gone out of his way to make sure that you watch this film and you don't see superhero movie genre. You see a standalone film on its own. Even with the framing and the lighting and just everything, he's really gone out of his way to define it as something else other than just superheroes.
Well, the marketing has never said superhero film to me.
No.
I mean, the first trailer was like, I think the first. If you want to have an idea of the tone, if you haven't seen it yet, look at the first trailer that came out. I think that's probably the closest to tone. I think the second trailer gave it the more action feel, showed a bit more action.
Yeah.
to kind of get probably more bums on seats. But the first trailer was definitely the tone it was going for, which was kind of gritty.
Yeah.
I would even say, like I say, maybe even Nolan, like Batman trilogy. But I think to that next level, I would actually say, I think that next level that probably the Nolan trilogy couldn't really go.
Johnny Cash certainly helped as well for the first trailer.
Yes.
Oh, Johnny Cash always makes things better.
Didn't
doesn't
he? He's the closing credits, Johnny Cash.
Yeah, but
Not the same song.
Not the same song.
Not the
strangely
same
enough.
song, but it's still Johnny Cash. I think
Oh,
that's...
major spoilers there.
Big.
Oh, God.
Oh, she told us the song in the
Not
end.
the song at the end.
Another piece of information, no end credit sequence.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh, yeah.
waste your time.
Public service announcement here. Save the ushers, the time, and everything. There's no end credit because, like I say, this
There's
is the
nothing
last...
to show.
There's nothing to show yet. The last Jackman film.
And if you had a few bottles of Coke or something like that, do your bladder a favour, just go.
Just go.
Yeah.
It's a long film.
Yeah.
It's over 2 hours, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is.
because
Let's check the
well,
runtime.
let's face it, we went in for the 11:15 show and we came out at 2:00.
Ugh.
Well,
So
That's including trailers.
that's including trailers and all that, but that means we've been in there for at least just over 3 hours, I would say.
Yeah.
oh my.
But yeah,
So Oscar nominations, we're feeling like we feel like it deserves a nod,
Yeah.
a minimum of a nod.
Yeah.
If it was to take something home, it would be well deserved. But then again, at this stage, we don't know who we're up against.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see how the rest of the year pans out. Years. 17 years of Wolverine,
Yeah. 17
Jackman.
years.
When did you say his first role?
The first X-Men film came out in 2000.
Yeah.
So he was in that.
That was his
That
breakup.
was
It was so long ago.
Yeah,
Forgive me for not being up on my Hugh Jackman.
That was his
he's
big break.
He's been in.
Every X-Men film.
Has he actually been in every single X-Men
It's like
film?
X-Men, X2, X-Men United, X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men Origins Wolverine, X-Men First Class, X-Men, The Wolverine, X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse, and a picture of him in Deadpool, and now Logan. So yeah,
He's technically well. I think we'll
Smashed it.
I think we're a bit
Deadpool.
leaning on Deadpool because
Yeah.
Deadpool was obviously we're still praying for fingers crossed for Wolverine
Yeah.
versus Deadpool. That would be the only reason I want Jackman to come back.
I'll cross everything
I don't-
for that.
I like to say cast a new Wolverine if you need to, but no. At least give it 5, maybe 6 years before
10.
you even consider it.
10.
But if
10 in
not,
their case, but just let Jackman and Reynolds have fun with Deadpool versus Wolverine because that would sell. That would make
Oh, yeah.
a mint for Fox. But
But
like I
if
say,
not-
the challenge is convincing Hugh Jackman to come back and play that
Yes.
role one more time.
but if
But-
not, then
We'll cry.
X23 can take up the role.
Yes.
Because in the comics, she becomes Wolverine. Spoilers.
Spoilers. Comic spoilers.
Yeah.
Basically, let's okay. Thinking about Hugh Jackman's journey over the years is where we started this. So,
yeah.
Evolution. Like this is more for me. I've only ever seen it through the films. For you two, you know about the comic book background.
And the TV shows.
Well,
yes.
in the end, you got the right point there. He's been in the films, and the films is what we got to base it on. Yeah,
Yeah.
His journey. He's just got better with age, hasn't he? It's just.
It's
Yeah.
about the actor. It's not about
You got more
the source
ripped
material. It's about the actor, not the source
More-
material.
Yeah.
And because of that, we judge the films. We don't
Yeah.
judge, like I
The
say,
source
Logan
material.
was meant to be based off the old man Logan comics. It is lightly like every other source material. It
Yeah.
doesn't play it note for note. But in the end, it's about the actor, like I say, not the source material.
Okay.
And in the end, he's played the character the way he's played the character. There's been no objection
He's
to how
defined the character.
He's defined
Yeah.
the film Wolverine, and that's basically the bar that's now set for whoever takes up that mantle
years.
years
down
later.
the line.
Let's say years later.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Big, huge Wolverine
So-
shaped shoes.
Yeah.
Huge.
But-
Huge.
You know what?
Huge
you know what? I actually,
shoes.
you know what? I like to, just a little side note here. I know sometimes we do get off a bit off.
With tangent.
We stay on topic, but we do go off a little bit if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But
It's
the
called
next
stream of
Wolverine,
consciousness.
I think, has to be in the suit.
Oh,
The yellow suit.
The yellow suit, the
The yellow
brown suit.
Yeah.
He
The brown
just he
suit.
just has to be in that suit because I feel like that's probably going to at least define the next Wolverine because Hugh Jackman never did it. He never got
No.
the chance to be in that suit because
because it would have looked silly, to be honest. That's
Compared
way
to
from-
everybody else, he would have looked a bit
Yeah.
the
daft.
thing is though, when you, if you just well, it's not really a spoiler for X-Men Apocalypse. They're all in their cartoon outfits. So I could
modified.
Modified a bit, but they still have the blues, the yellows that look okay in the cartoon, but you think will look silly. But they've made it. They can make the Wolverine suit look good. They made a guy who could shrink tiny.
I was actually thinking that, man.
Reasonable. So
My nemesis.
Yeah, she hates Ant-Man.
I hate Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have mental problems.
But more on that later. But yeah, that's my opinion on the next Wolverine. Next Wolverine's got to be in the suit. Because that's the only way you can define this next Wolverine and maybe even raise that bar a little. That's the only thing that was missing from
Calm down, dear. Calm down. Bar's pretty freaking high.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying would elevate, at least give the whoever takes over.
Give them a chance.
Give them a chance. Put them in the suit. Don't even have an unknown, because Hugh Jackman was an unknown when he started the role.
Yeah. I suppose really, we talked about it being his last film. We've talked about the R rating, how it's different Oscar noms. Basically, I want to know how you felt when you walked out the cinema. Because I know how I felt when I walked out the cinema. But how did you feel when you came out that screen?
Do you want to start, Colt?
For Logan.
Yeah. Well, when I was watching it, it did take me to notice that, because we've watched these characters all these years, not just Logan, but also like Charles Xavier and other characters, and it's like to see them in this state, like the age and the illnesses and all this stuff. It's like a large fall from grace. Like we grew up with these characters. It's like even before the films, and just to see them like this is like, oh god, it's like it makes them more human in a way, and it reminds us that they're mortal too. And it's just like things are coming to an end. It's basically like the end of an era. The fact that it's set in like the 2029 is like we're far towards the end now kind of thing. It's like no more mutants. Well, there are some new mutants now. In fact, they're called the New Mutants, which is like, so that gave it an indication like, oh, that's where the franchise might be going, because like, in fact, I think that's what they might do for the next couple of films, like, because they did say they're going to be the New Mutants, and actually they might actually keep it within that same time period. Yeah, it's like 2042, Richter, and all that sort of stuff. That's one of the characters called Richter, and it's like, and when I saw the name, I was like, oh, of course, let me guess, Earth abilities of some sort.
Earthquakes. I get it.
Yeah.
So how did I feel when this film, when basically the last frame hit? I felt mournful. I think mournful is if you had loved Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, you're going to leave this film kind of feeling a little empty.
I did.
You're going to feel empty. You're going to feel like you've just come out of a funeral. Honestly, because but I think you've got to also treat it as a funeral as well. It's basically while you go through the ceremony and everything, it's going to be a sad time. But when you leave, you actually go out thinking, remembering the good times and remembering, you know what, and you actually go to look at the film and think, my God, for the last film, he went out with a bang.
He really did.
Yeah. Went out with a bang, and we will always appreciate the 17 years he gave to that role. And that's my feelings. And like I say, it's just the first time I've ever left a film speechless and also cold, empty, and not knowing how to. Because usually you come out of a film, you get like some kind of joy out of it. You say, oh, that was nitty and gritty and sad, but I still came out of it like with a bit of joy because I enjoyed the experience. And like I said, this was another one of those films where I enjoyed the experience. Just the ending was just so
poignant.
Yeah, it was very like I say, it was very mournful. And like I said, we try our best not to give anything away.
Yeah.
Well, there are spoilers. We have hashtag spoilers.
We haven't given any spoilers that are gonna get us lynched. We haven't gone to Game of Thrones.
Oh no.
Spoiler giveaway yet.
It's like you can still watch it.
Yeah, you can still watch it. We've not completely ruined it.
Yeah. But yeah, those are my feelings towards it.
Yeah, I saw it before both of you. So this time I came out and I still felt sad. The first time I came out of the cinema, and I was with your family when I watched it. So we all discussed it, and we were all like, I feel empty. I feel like I'm grieving for Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. That was it. You just felt like there was a void. And it was just it's an amazing film. It's so fantastic. It breaks so many barriers within that genre to make it something different, bringing something new to the table, throwing all the conventions up in the air and saying, why can't a superhero movie be a powerful movie emotionally? Why can't it focus on character rather than all these buildings exploding? And it really touched me because of how intimate the way the director had brought the story close to the audience and everything. And so, yeah, you do kind of come out and you're like, oh, emotions, feelings. In fact, your family put the first X-Men film on as soon as they got home.
Oh God, yeah, I remember that. It was like you say, it was talking about a funeral experience. It's like going to a funeral, going back and then watching like the old VHS tapes of memories.
Let's get the wedding videos out and watch. It was like, yeah, they put it straight on, and I didn't get to finish and sit and watch it with them. I had to go home, but yeah, it really does make you hark back and want to go back to the beginning and watch it all the way through so that you can see the whole timeline kind of thing.
The transformation, basically.
Yeah, it was so different to see.
What transformation? He hasn't aged at all.
He has aged like a fine wine. He's delicious.
It's kind of
What completely always red?
Always red.
Yeah.
No, not always red like a fine wine. Wines can be white too, and pink.
add some colour
The
in
more you know.
Add some colouring in, make a blue wine.
Blue wine. That's WKD and that's your tipple. So, okay, if we're going to sum it up, we call it cinema or skip. So, bit of a dumb question right now, considering we just bleated about how wonderful this film is. But, Colton, cinema or skip?
Obviously cinema. And to me, it's a very important film because it's unlike any other superhero film beforehand, because like we've had so many films now, and I've learned this from media studies. Like, it's a genre. When a genre has been on for so long, it has to change and adapt, just so it doesn't become stagnant. As all the genres have done this. Like rom-com's done this, horror's done this, like comedy's done this, and something pick some bits from other genres so that they merge and become new genres. And the superhero film genre is doing it right now. It's did a few years ago with like stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy was like a sci-fi drama, like more like Star Wars, and Ant-Man was like a heist movie, and Doctor Strange is like more mystical and magical and all this stuff, and Logan is more like as I said, like a Western kind of movie with indie, with more character-driven, and it's kind of important because like it makes it more different because it's more like a breather compared to the other films because it's more pulled back, it's cut down, and it's just like. I know people get eviscerated in this film to mincemeat of some sort, but it's still time. But it is a film to give you a bit of a breather compared to everything else.
Cinema or skip?
Oh, skip! Come on, joking.
Skip.
No, cinema definitely. Definitely go see this film in the cinema because it, like I say, the cinematic experience can never be beaten to just watching it on DVD or at home. And this is a film that definitely I think deserves that treatment, deserves people to go and see it in the cinema.
Big screen.
Because, like I say, it's Hugh Jackman's last hurrah. Given the box office intake he deserves.
Yeah.
The only part of it I'd say is Marvel and DC take notes, because if you want a film that focuses on its character, gives you a character that you love, and you watch them go through such a difficult journey with their fellow compadres,
whipping out the Mexican language.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
References.
X23 did, but this is a film you should study because, like I say, Marvel and DC are both guilty for not doing it, in my opinion. Last best example I saw was the Dark Knight trilogy for focusing on a character and going through their journey. I haven't seen Marvel do it. I haven't seen the new DC stuff do it yet, but that's my opinion.
Okay.
What about you, Abby? Come on, you gonna finish it off?
Cinema. Yes, amazing film, fantastic. Just Jackman is absolute best. Patrick Stewart is absolute best. fabulous performance from Daphne
Keane.
And
the supporting cast.
yes, and all the supporting cast. The main three, you kind of, but everybody was fantastic. Music fantastic. He went out with a bang, and he will be missed. And I don't want him. Just do Deadpool and make us happy, for God's sake. Just do it.
One more hurrah. That's all we ask.
Yeah. One more. One more, Jackman. One more.
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll wait and see.
Like I say, it's just a Ryan Reynolds now to convince him.
We will convince him because we are the power.
Yeah, sure we will.
We got Deadpool made. The fans got Deadpool made. We will convince him.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Now it's time. It's time to grieve.
Yeah, we're gonna go grieve. Go see Logan in cinema now.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Way down we go, oh, way down we go, so way down we go, way down.